Hello, can you hear me? Cool. It won't work a minute ago. Just give it a minute or two for people to join. Little Q&A, yeah? Interesting. I might as well share my screen. I don't think there's going to be too much going on. Tariq's banned from asking questions. No, I'm not. Exactly that, Denzo. There's only one reason why he's asking. Quite intrigued if anyone's got any questions prepared, or whether we're freestyling. Oh wow, what happened to bio? Cool. Right. Can you walk us through drawing and finding an OB? Can do. I feel like this isn't as much as a technical analysis kind of stream, but I can quickly show you until we get some more questions coming in. In fact, let's go with this here. I don't know where this is from. Um, the way I tend to find the OBs is I'll find. Let's go back and start from the top. I'll find somewhere where price is rejecting from, or a group of POCs. Best example. So right here, I'm looking for the flip of these POCs on bio, just because we've got nearly a 40% gap. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the hourly, the 30-minute, or something just a little higher time frame, and then scrolling back, and I can see straight away this and this. So what I want to do now is I want to go into lower time frames. I'll use the replay tool. In fact, what I like to do as well, I like to draw a line there as well, just so when you use the replay tool, you know where you're looking. So I'm going to go down here, and then I'm going to go to the 3-minute, just go lowest on the 3-minute. And then what I was looking for here is this green line to give a reaction. So I want to look for something within here, and then once we're in here, this here is what I found, just because like Tariq kind of says, like a barcodey kind of pattern. I mean, this isn't the greatest example, but you can kind of see how we've got like price just kind of chopping around, creating OBs, and we've got reactions everywhere. And then once we flip it, you can kind of see it's playing out. When you can see, I don't really have no set rule when it's mitigated. Just kind of goes off feel. I think the more you play it, the more you kind of get a feel for when they're kind of dead. This hit, I think this was the last one before it rejected, and then it hasn't been touched since here. So if we flip here and flip the POCs, I'm looking to play it. Unfortunately, it went without me. I wanted to get in here, but it ripped without me. Tariq Long just a little bit lower. How important is funding when looking for a play? Funding's important. I still play them if the funding's neutral or positive. The only thing I would look out for is if a coin is negative funding and it starts to go more neutral. Can you hear me? Yeah. Answering DJ's question. I don't know if you can hear me. But if a coin is negative funding and it starts to go more neutral, I'd be careful. I still play them if they are neutral. But yeah, that's about it really. And if BTC looks like it's going to reject, negative funding coins can often go against BTC price, which is also to be aware of. I don't really use high time frame OBs for entries. I just use high time frame OBs to avoid taking place. If you're logging into 4 hour OB, I wouldn't take it, but I use the 5, 3, 2 minute, 1 minute, and sometimes less OB for triggers. Let's see. Does it impact or my confidence if they're further back? Not really. I think it depends on how price is reacting and how many times prices move through the OB. I kind of answered that in the question before. If you find a bull dip on the hourly, there's no kind of one answer for that in terms of the bull dip. I mean, lots of traders use RSI for different reasons. What I use on RSI, I don't use the hourly RSI. I use the 30-minute, the 15-minute, and the 5-minute. Occasionally the one, but it's hard. It's hard to answer really, but just because so many traders use it for different reasons. Yeah, it kind of comes down to your own trading strategy. For me, it's bull divs into the POCs inside a golden pocket Fibonacci, but that's not the only way you can use it. Do I look at RSI when playing breakouts? The only way I look at RSI is if we're setting up for a bear div into the POCs, then I won't take the trade just because then my reversal strategy and my breakout strategy conflict. So just wait for the other one. The aspect ratio. I've got a new monitor and it's 38 inches wide, so I've had to cut it in half. I don't think you'll be able to see it if it's the full monitor. It's mitigated, yeah, we've had that one. No, it doesn't. If you market order in on Till Street, it just gives you it's like market ordering on Bybit. You just kind of get what you're given, kind of thing. Zoom in settings. Discord. So that. When do I feel like I was breaking through as a new trader? What was the biggest change that you made early on to get to that point? Honestly, the biggest change for me was taking Pocky's lessons. So I was trading for a couple of years beforehand, changing from strategy to strategy. I'd done Pat's market structure course. I'd done lessons with Woods. I'd done some sessions with Aztecs. But I was just jumping from strategy to strategy. I think the reason it clicked for me with Pocky is just because it's very rule based and it doesn't just teach you TA, it teaches you how to execute, which is kind of what I was lacking. So that was the biggest kind of change for me. Yeah, that answers that. I sure would. That's what we're all about. Lawnmowers. I'd go for a front and back roller. 4-wheel drive. We just go for rotary mowers or real mowers. Is this being recorded? Yeah, I believe it is. Cyprus is here. Where was I with the questions? How to check it? I'm switching on okay, so yeah. No, I don't know how to check it. I mean, if it's low volume coin and you're marketing it, you're going to get a worse entry than if it's a larger cap, just because of volume. If your execution is struggling, I'd recommend going through Pocky's trading strategies, just because um, it teaches you execution. Whereas I find a lot of other kind of trading courses, things like that, they teach you the TA when realistically TA is probably, in my opinion, like 20% of trading. The rest of it's mental and execution. I use the replay tool near enough on every chart for finding anything really, even if it's back here. I just replay it, and you haven't got to piss about zooming in and zooming out as much. Where's your mini mass? Mini mass isn't here. No worries, Mario. Have a good one. What do you mess up with the execution? Where's the problem? Yeah, I really believe TA is like 20% of trading. Like you can teach someone technical analysis in a couple of hours, but realistically, you're not going to learn to trade in a couple of hours. What part of greed though is the problem? Is like oversizing, trying to get a better entry, holding positions too long. Um, Maybe Dan. I kind of still disagree a little bit, but it was certainly more than it is now. Should check. How did you really get? Did you back test a lot? Um, Honestly, I just copied loads of Tariq's trades. Like every time me, like myself or Tariq puts a chart in, try not to ask where the zone is or where it is. Sort of see it on the chart, then use the replay tool and try and find it yourself. But I was going through tons and tons of trades, charts daily, just looking for them. A bit of back testing, but more kind of live testing and forward testing, to be honest with you. Um, that's about it. Retest on Monday low for a long string calf. I don't want to get too caught up in looking at TA, but I'm going to have a look whilst we wait for questions. It's a big zone for ETH, to be honest, to flip. Yeah, the POC indicator saves hours and hours of time, like insane amounts. It's Monday low. Um, I have no trigger there. I mean, he's kind of reacting, but I wouldn't personally bid it. It's up to you. It's not a bid for me. Up, down, the emphasizing, but it's fine. Yeah, compounding is key. I mean, I've said this before. I mean, I traded for, I don't know how long it was actually, but I probably traded for like a year with $10 risk. Some of my TPs were like 50 cent and things like that, but you have to just kind of block it out and trust the process. Look at the percentages over dollar amount, and yeah, I feel like you never really improve until you really start to trust the process. Forget about trying to make money and just try and grow the account and percentages. I was posting lots of charts in the breakout section, DGen. So yeah, also comparing charts as well. What percentages are you targeting? Honestly, I don't really have a specific thing. I mean, I'm not sure if you're talking about now or when I was learning to trade. But when you're learning to trade, like 1% a day, like it's good profits. I mean, you don't have to play with loads of money, but 1% a day, you can earn a pretty good living just by earning 1% a day. I mean, of course, it's very different now, but when you're learning, just try and become consistently profitable. What about now? It changes. It changes. I mean, I think since the start of last month, I think my leverage account's up 150%, which obviously a big difference to 1% a day. I've been in a bit of drawdown the last since I don't know the last few days, but we're still up probably 150% in the last probably 6 weeks. Yeah, keep tagging me, mate. I'm always around, and it's good that people are getting involved. It's the best way to learn. Honestly, when I joined Wealth Group, I didn't know what support and resistance was. I was just tagging everyone in chart ideas, keep asking questions. It's kind of what we're here for. Well, it is what we're here for. He's trying to go for it here. Don't be shy. Two brains are better than one as well. So if you've got a chart and you post it in there, like I can help you with it, and by me helping you with it, it's helping me as well, and we can do it together. BTC doing not much. Oh wow. Sometimes I look to play the level again. It kind of depends how it sets up, and I think that probably comes down to a bit more experience. Um, but yeah, you can play them again. Honestly, I'm not really a market a news trader. So when there's lots of news coming out and things like that, I tend to just chill out for a bit. I mean, there's plenty of other guys in the Discord that kind of thrive in those conditions, whereas I prefer it when it's just strictly TA on the chart. If there's war news coming out, then I tend to completely um, step away. So did you cover? Um, what exactly with TPs? What's the question? Essentially spray support and resistance. So my problem is with TPs is the one part of trading that you can never get perfect. So you either TP fully and price continues, or you TP a little bit and it rejects and you get stop break even. I think the best thing to do with TPing is stay consistent. Obviously, it kind of changes when market conditions are bullish and when they're choppy. So if it's bullish, try and hold your positions more. When price sort of starts to chop around, that's when you kind of take a bit more off at TP1. But I tend to use POCs for TPs, and also with the breakouts. If you get like a kind of quick candle up, just secure some. Just quite often, if you get a kind of blow off candle in the breakouts, it can sometimes mean it's the top. Um, so yeah, just TP when kind of feels right, but you're never going to get them all 100% correct. So you have to live with round tripping, or you have to live with closing early. One of them is going to be the case most of the time. How many hours do I spend trading? Probably too much, to be honest. I mean, I'm at my desk 8 a.m. every day, and then I'm probably at my desk at 10 p.m. I mean, I'm not always kind of dialed in on the charts 100%, but I'm kind of ready to act if need be. Also depends on my daily schedule as well. I mean, I'm here most of the time, but I like playing paddle, so I like kind of getting out of the house for a bit of fitness as well. Is that the way you find? I refresh my list daily um, by using the screener. I've got a guide in my pinned in my channel if you haven't seen it. And then once I've got them, I'll filter them by percentage. And sort of these top sort of handful are normally the ones that are kind of really hot on the day, and you can kind of almost always get a trade within the top few coins. If you haven't got nothing there, then just kind of work your way down. Also, Orion Terminal as well. Let me get you a link for it. Orion Terminal. But if you get another pullback and go below. That's the $1 million question right there. Honestly, I don't know. So just going back to will we get another pullback and go below 4K? I try to not predict what the market's going to do. I think when you try and predict what the market's going to do, you kind of give yourself a bias. So as what I prefer to do is have my zones, have what I want to see, and if it happens, take the position. When you're like that, you kind of it's just easier mentally not to try and predict the market, and just if you get a trigger, pull it. Do I trade on a golf course? I used to play golf during the week a lot, but I don't really play during the week anymore. But if I'm on the golf course of a weekend and I get an alert pop off, then I'll take it. I don't actively look at new charts on the golf course, but if an alert pops off and you get the trigger, then yeah, I'll probably take it. Flip here. It's a big level 3 here though. There's these charts. No, I don't take I don't take them if there's POCs above. I like to sort of go like 10% gap, but if it's kind of a slow moving coin like TRX, for example, obviously a 10% gap on TRX is huge. 10% is kind of the baseline, but you can kind of break it depending on the coin. See you later, mate. For coin XP, I've done that one. Yeah, you can use POCs for flips. I wouldn't want to long into that, but then we've got the POCs above. Yeah, I would want to long like up here, 8%. It's kind of, you could probably get away with it. Somewhere there to target there. Seems like you're calling far more breakout. Just, I kind of thought I was going to get that question earlier. I'm going to be honest. I thought that'd be like one of the first questions someone asked. I just kind of enjoying the breakouts more at the moment. Obviously, they're paying well, and they're kind of a bit more fast paced. They're easier to call. Obviously, when I'm calling the reversal strategies, there's a lot of break evens and a lot of cancel limits, and it kind of takes time to write out where I'm DCA in to put the orders in. So I'm just finding it's a lot easier to call the breakouts. But they have been paying better as well. But once the market kind of calms down a bit, I mean, if we look at, I'll come back to Griffin in a sec. I mean, the market's pretty much been up only. I mean, obviously we're chopping a bit here and chopping a bit here, but like playing the breakouts through all of this has been good fun. It's been more profitable for me anyway. Some people might disagree and it's profitable for them, but then I suppose it comes down to trading is a very personal kind of thing. But I've just found it more profitable and easier to play. Yeah, I mean, getting stopped out. I mean, it took me probably a good couple of months to get used to the lower win rate. Obviously, with the reversal strategy, the win rate's a lot higher if you exclude the break evens. But with the breakouts, the RR's a lot better, so you don't need as a good win rate to be like profitable. But I think what a lot of members do, if I get in a call and it pops like 8%, people are closing, whereas to be profitable with a strategy, you need the good RR. So I mean, sometimes when I get like a 50-60% move or something like that, I've got quite a hefty position in still, and it pays for like I normally have one trade a month that will cover every single loss that I take in a month. Obviously, you get the TP1s and things in between, but normally one trade that I hit pays for every single loss that I've taken. And with the breakouts as well, it also comes back to preparing the chart. Like if I send the zone out, I put a message pinned in my corner the other day. But if you prepare the chart, like I appreciate it's hard to get into all of the trades, but if I've sent the zone, I've taken the trade, I've sent the trade in the bot. There's definitely time that you can enter the trade as well, just taking it yourself. Yeah, being on different time zones hard. No, I don't really add to positions too much. If I've got like two zones, I'll just draw an example. I mean, forget the POCs, but if I've got a flip here and a flip here, if I get in here, so say this is a zone here and this is a zone here. If I get in here, I'll take profit here, and if we get this flip, then I'll add again what I've taken off. Sometimes I'll add a bit more depending on how clean it is. Honestly, I used to take Tariq's trades, and I was probably in a similar situation to a lot of members. But what I found out it was more down to me not being prepared. Like you can get the exact same entry as me, because I take the trade and manage to send it all in the same time, where you can just take it yourself. Strategy's better taking four. I don't know the answer to that, to be honest. I mean, it varies. I mean, in bullish conditions, then probably taking partials. In choppy conditions, probably taking full TP. It's hard to give an exact answer to that question, in all honesty. Loses early is always good. Can't lose early comes to the reversal strategy pretty well. You normally cut the losers before they hit your stop loss. Do I use trailing stops? I don't know. I have thought about kind of implementing it and testing it, but I don't actually use them. I was meant to look at chart, wasn't I? Griffin. I don't know. Jesus. I wouldn't touch Griffin. It depends on what time frame you're talking, but I wouldn't really. If you're talking about spot, I wouldn't touch it until we're above here. It needs to break out of this daily range. Jesus. That'd be nice. I was looking at a coin a minute ago. I was looking for a zone and I went off it. That's a good question. I think the problem is with that. I mean, to get yourself into a position to take one or two high time frame trades a month, I feel like you have to be a successful trader already, which kind of contradicts getting to that sort of situation. Um, you can do it. I mean, it's hard. I mean, I was sort of fortunate that in my old job I had a lot of spare time. So I was grinding the charts for hours and hours daily at my old job before I could quit. But if you get 2 hours a day, I mean, there's enough time to do 2 hours worth of setting alerts, and then if you get an alert, I don't know what you do for your job, but if you get an alert whilst you're at work, you can maybe execute like that. But those 2 hours should be used for either back testing or setting alerts, and then hopefully with your job that you're doing, you can pull the trigger if you get an alert. Yeah, exactly that. See, the higher time frame is you need kind of less time. The only kind of thing that I find with that is if you're learning to become a trader, you have to wait a long time to sort of in between your trades. Obviously, the more trades you take, the quicker you learn from your mistakes. Um, so yeah, you kind of somewhere in the middle is probably perfect. How did I forward test before taking my own trades? Um, it depends. I think when I was learning the breakout, obviously I kind of knew how to trade. So it's kind of very different. I kind of was playing them pretty quick. I wasn't going with them full size, but I was pretty much playing everything straight away. What I'd recommend for you, DGen, is just taking the trade live with real money, even if it's like $1. Um, but I find playing with real money is a big difference to kind of just testing it, even if it is $1. Yeah, whatever. Like whatever the amount is, just as long as you don't mind losing the $100. Funding accounts, I kind of quite strongly disagree with them. I think they're just a money making scheme for people to pay to get the account, and they know they're going to get liquidated within however long it takes. I know loads of friends that have tried it and they pass phase two, then they finally get the account, and they lose it within a week. Um, I think the best way to go about it is just learning to trade organically. I mean, if say for example you're trading with a $100 account and all of a sudden you get a funding account for a 50k account, you're mentally not prepared to trade 50k. I know it's not your money, but when you see the numbers on the screen going up and down in those kind of numbers from the $100 to the 50k, like it is very very hard. And they have stupid rules as well. Some of the rules are pathetic. Like you can't have like a X amount drawdown when realistically, like I have that drawdown weekly. I think most of them are a scam. We're gonna get this little 1 minute trade on Brex. Also, if you do know how to trade and you're profitable, you can kind of quickly see how fast the account compounds. Well, actually, I don't think I like this. See you later, mate. Thanks for coming. How would I back test it? Um, it's hard to backtest. I'm going to be honest. It's a lot harder to backtest than Pocky strategy. I was mainly kind of drawing zones out when this was when I was kind of learning to trade it. I was kind of drawing zones out and then looking for reactions. How can you backtest it? I mean, even just going through mine and Tariq's trades, if they're good trades, just kind of pull back the chart, find the zone, and but then I suppose that kind of comes down to live testing it as well. Um, I would just draw zones everywhere if I was you. I would draw them everywhere, set alerts everywhere, see what works, see what don't work, and the ones that do work, go back, look at how it looked. The ones that don't work, go back, look how they looked. Are they too wiki? Are they not really getting a reaction? And just kind of build up a feel for it. A lot of it is kind of vibes, I think, with this kind of strategy, which isn't really too helpful. But once you kind of get a feel for it, it becomes a lot easier. We got any more questions, guys? I think what a lot of people don't realize as well, like trading is hard. Like it gets easier with time, but to get kind of kick started and become profitable is very, very hard. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. I just think a lot of people don't give it enough time and um, they want to get rich quick. I always say to people, trading is a get rich slow scheme, but once you're kind of up and running, you're cooking for life. It's the hardest way to make easy money, is a good saying about trading. Future, put differently than pocket trap. In all honesty, like I don't really journal as much as I should now. I kind of find that my channel in Wealth Group is like my journal. Um, I think certainly in the earlier days when I was learning, I was tracking every trade, sort of writing down my thoughts, my feelings. But I think kind of as you become more profitable, you kind of know what to write down and what not to write down. I mean, I don't need to be writing down every trade that I'm taking right now, but if there's something that I pick up on, I'll write that down. How long does it take to become an independent trader? It's completely personal, mate. I mean, some people it can take 6 months, some people it can take 6 years. There's no way of answering that would kind of indicate how long it's going to take you. I mean, it took me 3 years, maybe, which is, I don't know if that's longer than most, shorter than most. I don't really know, but I know there's certainly people that are a lot quicker than that, and I know there's people that are a lot slower than that. And throughout those 3 years, every 2 months or so, I'd be telling myself, right, I've cracked it, I've nailed it, this is it. And then you kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Let's start over again. What do you do to fast track your progress? It's a good question. However, I don't think you can rush it because without making the mistakes, you can't learn. I had a problem in the early days of jumping from strategy to strategy, which is not the best thing to do. But because I've done that, I now have a quite a rounded kind of overview of lots of different strategies, which helps me. Certainly helps me within Wealth Group because I'm able to help more people. But it just gives you a more rounded knowledge of the market. Whereas if you trade just one strategy, you could probably become profitable with it. Um, what I do to probably do Pocky's course straight away, but I don't regret not doing it because this, as I say, it's giving me a more rounded kind of knowledge of the markets. Yeah, I mean this group is pretty good. I mean, pretty good is an understatement, but you know what I mean. Uh, yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good observation. I mean, the more effort you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. I think that's the same as anything in life. So this is no different. Do I hold any spot? I do hold spot. I buy Bitcoin every single week, and I buy Ethereum every single week, and I've done it for many years. That was one of the first things I learned that Rigo was doing with his BTC, and I started it years ago, and I still buy both those every single week. Um, I hold some on-chain stuff, um, which has been pretty good lately. But in terms of on sort of my Bybit account and things like that, I don't hold too much spot now. Um, I think things change. Obviously, the breakout of strategy, like I learned to trade in the bear market. Um, so it's certainly money to be made. I think the like Pocky strategy is certainly more profitable than the breakout strategy in the bear market. So I don't think there's nothing to kind of worry about. But you just have to adjust your system slightly. There's more than enough money to be made, though, for sure. Yeah, let me get you a link to Pocky's one-on-one section. I don't really have a set amount I'll withdraw or compound. I just kind of do as and what I please, in all honesty. I try not to take too much out to my bank. I mean, obviously, I have to live, um, buy holidays and things like that, but I don't have a set amount. Yeah, that's a good answer. This chart. I don't really expect to make anything per month. I don't really have a set target. I just kind of get to the end of the month and see what I've got. I don't really have a set amount. But I think if you're learning to trade, then break even is a successful amount. Uh, it's it's a good question. Maybe like 50R. Um, yeah, maybe like this is like leverage. Obviously, you get some on chain stuff that goes crazy, but maybe like 50R in a month. Maybe a bit better actually for the whole month, like best one ever. Worst. Oh, bloody hell. In terms of units, I got liquidated starting to learn, so all of it. I think everyone gets liquidated to start though. See you later, mate. Thanks for coming. Any more questions at all? If not, we can wrap it up. I honestly think just a lot of people try and get rich quick. I think that's 90% of people's problems. Setting alerts. Setting alerts is the best way to spend your time. I mean, technically, I could spend probably an hour or 2 hours of the morning setting alerts, go about my day. If I get an alert pop off, then pull the trigger. But you have to become a profitable trader and you have to work to kind of, I don't want to say privilege, but you have to work to get in that position to be able to do that. When you're learning, just set alerts and just set as many as you can and work out what ones work and what ones don't. Yeah, I've got different accounts. Some ones like a bigger account and then some other degen accounts. I don't know why I've got so many to be honest, but yeah, I do. Back testing's always good. Yeah, like before I was profitable, I back test for hours daily. Which was yeah, I'm a true believer. If the more losses you take, the quicker you learn. So if you're taking one or two trades a week or a month, you've got one or two opportunities to learn. If you take 5 losses in a day, obviously you got to have your risk managed to kind of that not affect you. If you take 5 losses in a day, you got 5 opportunities to learn from it. But obviously that comes down to having more time as well. I think it's just like a one-time thing. But I mean, there's no reason why you can't ask the same questions when we're on stream. So whenever really. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's kind of nice as well being like open and honest with these sort of questions. I believe it helps a lot. Well, I feel like it would help a lot. I feel like it would help me if I was in a situation a while ago. There's no cost to the one-on-ones. You just have to send me 1 Bitcoin, and I'll get you in. Q jump. Yeah, it is doable. 5 to 8 hours a week spare. It's just harder. I think a lot of trading comes to you being honest with yourself as well. You have to be honest and leave your ego kind of at the door. Um, you ain't going to win every trade. You have to take losing on the chin and get on with it. Use it as a lesson, like I was saying. Any more questions at all, guys? Or we can wrap it up there. Yeah, you've been going in, DJing. It's good though. You kept me busy. For sure. It's literally the best way to learn. Like I said, when I was learning, I was tagging everyone. What indicator do I use? Okay. All right, let's just see people type in if any other questions. You're all good, mate. No, I don't. I've never used it, to be honest. I think Pocky switches it on sometimes we're on stream, but I don't use it. Well, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to put any more questions in. Do you have any learning material? Honestly, no. I mean, I'm probably where I've come through the ranks of Wealth Group rather than learning to trade beforehand. I mean, I've literally trade Pocky strategy and trade Tariq strategy. So if you want any learning material, look at those. Uh, yeah, I use the same OBs that Tariq uses, so it wouldn't help me. Carve. Let's look at this and we'll wrap it up. 5 mil volumes, you've got to be careful with it. And it's stacked with POCs as well. I wouldn't want a long here. It needs to hold above here. Cool. Right, I'm gonna call it there, guys. Appreciate everyone coming. Just remember to keep consistent. That's the most important thing. Keep consistent. Keep doing what you're doing and learn from your mistakes. And you got to remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. So it takes a lot of time, a lot of hard work. But once you crack it, it's very rewarding. No worries, guys. Speak to you soon. See you now.